Caitlin Clark has spent her entire career dodging drama like she's weaving through a full court press. But her latest move just sent the internet into an absolute tailspin. For someone who usually keeps her opinions strictly to the basketball court, the world was shocked when her name appeared at the center of the most heated cultural debate of the year. It all started with the Super Bowl 60 halftime show, an event that was already being called the most divisive 15 minutes in television history. People were looking for a sign, any sign, of where the Indiana Fever star stood on the controversy. And when she finally gave it to them, the reaction was so explosive that even major news outlets couldn't look away. But the real story isn't just about what she did, it's about why the world is so desperate to turn a single. Click into a national scandal to understand why everyone is losing their minds. You have to look at how we got here. Originally, the NFL had a very different plan for the big game. They wanted the biggest star on the planet, Taylor Swift, to take the stage. It seemed like a no-brainer. But in a move that shocked the league, she reportedly turned them down flat. Some say it was the optics of performing while her fiancé, Travis Kelce, was still active in the league. Others pointed to the fact that the NFL gets a massive $50 million check from Apple for the show, yet they don't pay the artists a single cent. Whatever the reason, her no left a massive void. Enter Bad Bunny. The Puerto Rican sensation was brought in to fill the gap, but his selection immediately set off alarm bells for a certain segment of the audience. This wasn't just going to be a concert. It was going to be a cultural collision. When the lights finally went up at the Super Bowl, it wasn't the typical pop medley the audience expected. Bad Bunny turned the field into a massive Puerto Rican block party. Most of the lyrics were in Spanish, the energy was pure Caribbean, and the message was loud and clear. But while half the country was dancing, the other half was reaching for their phones to complain. For months, rumors had been swirling that Bad Bunny was avoiding US shows because of concerns over legal processing and documentation issues for his fans. This backdrop turned a simple musical performance into a political lightning rod. Critics were quick to jump on the anti-American narrative, ignoring the fact that the performer and his culture have been a part of the American fabric for over a century. The backlash was swift, and it came from the highest levels. Conservative commentators like Megyn Kelly didn't hold back, calling the performance a direct middle finger to the right. Even former President Donald Trump weighed in on his social media platform, calling the show an affront to the greatness of the country. The argument was that a show in the middle of America's biggest sporting event should represent American standards. The irony, of course, is that Puerto Ricans have been U.S. citizens since 1917. They fought in every major war and held some of the most conservative governorships in the country's history. But in the heat of a social media firestorm, facts usually take a backseat to feelings. The stage was set for a massive us versus them battle, and everyone was waiting to see which side the biggest names in sports would take. That brings us back to Caitlin Clark. Amidst all this political noise, ESPN dropped a fairly standard Instagram post. It was a carousel of photos showing the massive star power that Bad Bunny had brought out. Lady Gaga, Pedro Pascal, Cardi B, and Ricky Martin were all there. It was a who's who of Hollywood royalty. The post exploded, racking up nearly 1 million likes in a matter of hours. But there was one specific like that caught the attention of the media vultures. When Caitlin Clark's name appeared in that list of likes, it was treated like a breaking news bulletin. Suddenly, the headline wasn't about the game or the music, it was about Caitlin Clark breaking her silence on the Bad Bunny controversy. The reach from the media was honestly impressive, if not a little bit desperate. Sports Illustrated even ran a full-length article dissecting her reaction. They used phrases like "not holding back," as if a single double tap on a photo was the equivalent of a televised manifesto. They tried to frame it as her taking a stand for the performance, or perhaps being more invested in the halftime show because her beloved Kansas City Chiefs weren't in the game. It was a masterpiece of manufacturing drama out of thin air. In reality, she liked to post about celebrities. She probably saw Lady Gaga or Jessica Alba on her feed, thought the photo looked cool, and did what millions of us do every single day. But when you're the face of a movement, you aren't allowed to have normal moments anymore.
So Bad Bunny is going to be the Super Bowl halftime show for 2026, and there's a lot of complaints about it, and looking at it, this really just shows a huge problem with Americans where they don't even know their own history in their own country. Originally, the NFL wanted to get Taylor Swift to do it, but she said no because of biases with her fiance Travis Kelce also being in the NFL, and also she just didn't want to do a free gig when the NFL gets paid $50 million by Apple to sponsor it. Bad Bunny got the gig instead, and he's been under a lot of controversy the last 9 months because he's no longer is doing US shows, fearing that ICE would try to deport the people who are attending it. So because this, many conservative commentators like Megyn Kelly have called this a middle finger to the right, and also many right-wing figures have said hiring Bad Bunny is anti-American. What people are forgetting here is Puerto Ricans are American. Puerto Rico has been part of American territory since 1898, and since 1917, Puerto Ricans have been US citizens. In the early 2010s, Puerto Rico even had a Republican governor named Luis Fortunio, who was the most conservative governor in the country, and Mitt Romney almost made his VP. If you're anti-Puerto Rican, you're literally anti-American. With that, I'm Charles Pearl. Subscribe.
This whole situation highlights a massive double standard that we see time and time again in the sports world. Imagine a male athlete like LeBron James or Patrick Mahomes liking a photo of celebrities at the Super Bowl. Would there be a 3-page article questioning their political leanings? Probably not. But because Caitlin Clark has become this cultural icon that transcends basketball, she's being lived under a microscope. Every single interaction is analyzed for hidden meaning. People are desperate to project their own values onto her, hoping she become the spokesperson for whatever cause they're currently fighting for. She's living in a fishbowl where even the most mundane activity is turned into fuel for the outrage machine. The pressure of this kind of scrutiny is enough to make anyone want to delete their accounts and disappear. If liking a picture of Pedro Pascal is going to result in a national headline about your shocking stance on immigration and culture, the safest move is to stop engaging entirely. This is how the media accidentally kills the very personalities they claim to love. They're so hungry for clicks that they turn every like into a liability. Caitlin Clark is a basketball player who wants to play the game and live her life, but the industry around her needs her to be a political figurehead. They need the drama because drama drives the algorithm. When you strip away the flashy headlines and the political bickering, the truth is actually pretty simple. Caitlin Clark watched the Super Bowl. She saw a star-studded halftime show that featured some of the biggest names in the world. She used Instagram like a normal human being. That's it. There was no hidden message, no middle finger to any political party, and no secret agenda. But in an era where everything has to mean something deeper, the truth just isn't exciting enough. We live in a world where the media would rather write a story about a like than report on the facts of the performance itself. What's truly surprising is how little we've learned from past controversies. We see these cycles repeat every year, yet we still fall for the same bait. Whether it's the halftime show, a player's social media activity, or a pre-game ritual, the goal is always the same: to divide the audience and keep them clicking. Caitlin Clark isn't the one stirring the pot, the people reporting on her are. She's just the target because her name is the most valuable currency in sports media right now. And as long as we keep clicking on those shocking reaction headlines, they're going to keep writing them.
U.S. President Donald Trump criticized Bad Bunny's performance at the Super Bowl with a post on his own social media platform saying, quote, "The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America, and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or..."
It makes you wonder where the line is. At what point does an athlete's private life become so public that they lose the ability to exist as a person? If we continue to analyze every thumb tap and every follow, we shouldn't be surprised when our favorite stars stop sharing themselves with us altogether. Caitlin's reaction to Bad Bunny wasn't a statement on Puerto Rican culture or American politics. It was a statement on how obsessed we've become with finding conflict where none exists. In the end, the Bad Bunny performance will go down as one of the most talked about moments in Super Bowl history, but for all the wrong reasons. Instead of discussing the music or the production, we're stuck talking about Instagram likes and political affronts. It's a strange time to be a fan, and an even stranger time to be a superstar. If you're tired of the manufactured drama and the constant reach for controversy, you aren't alone. Maybe it's time we let athletes like Caitlin Clark just like a photo in peace. But as we've seen, that might be the most shocking thing of all. If you think the media needs to take a serious reality check, let me know in the comments and stick around, because the real story behind these headlines is usually much crazier than the clickbait suggests.